There's an artist inside of you that's waiting to come out, and the only way to get there is by acting on the creative impulses that you're feeling. In this video, I want to talk about how your identity shapes your actions, and I want to show you how you can start to develop and turn into the artist version of yourself that you desire to be. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dave. I'm a songwriter, music producer, and artist coach. I started playing music when I was 15 years old. I came out of the gates hot and heavy and was in a band for a number of years. Later on, I went to music school and realized everything I didn't know. And I lost a lot of confidence there and really started to doubt myself. I ended up sort of receding into the shadows for a number of years, over a decade actually, writing music for myself and not sharing it with anybody. It's only been in the last year or so that I've come back out with my music and am approaching it again with a new passion, a new drive, new clarity. I released my first single. I've started playing shows again. I started a virtual songwriting group, and I'm more excited than I've ever been and seeing things in a much more clear way than I ever have before. And I started this channel to speak to other songwriters and musicians who maybe are looking to rekindle their connection to music again and are looking for ways to approach it with more fun, more meaning, and make it more rewarding. Take the pressure off and learn how to enjoy it again. So recently I've had the urge to start jamming with musicians again. And the last time I jammed with musicians, I was 15 years old, maybe in my mid-20s, but it's been about 10 years that I've played kind of in a band again. And what's changed? Why all of a sudden am I wanting to do this again? Well, it's because I have been slowly taking action on various creative impulses, from going to open mics a year and a half ago, to starting up my songwriting mastermind and releasing my first single, to starting to coach other artists and collaborate with songwriters. All of these steps have led me to develop a different identity, and new creative impulses are coming up to the surface. The main idea that I want to share with you is that your identity, who you think you are now, is not set in stone. It's not a fixed thing. It's always changing. If you think about who you were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you were not the same person you are today, and you're not going to be the same person a year from now. As artists, it's so easy for us to say things like, I'm not a singer, or I'm not a performer, or I don't collaborate with people, or I'm too old to learn how to use a DAW. These are all labels that we put on ourselves because they're part of who we see ourselves to be, our identities. What's going to make the difference is the choices that you make and the choices that you decide to honor. As an artist, you always have these ideas, creative impulses. It's the difference between acting on them or not acting on them that's going to determine who you evolve into. So I was reading the Substack article. This guy, he's an athlete, but his whole life he never really saw himself as like a real athlete. He knew he was athletic, but whenever he was up against somebody who really looked like they were athletic, a real athlete, he'd always fail. He'd always stumble and self-sabotage himself. It wasn't until he was able to embody the version of himself that could compete and could outperform these athletes that he himself shifted his beliefs and his identity. Just the other day, I was working on a song for this channel, actually. I wanted to create a reggae drum beat or some kind of reggae style beat. And so I decided I would study and listen and learn some reggae beats and create my own drum samples, my own sample pack that I could refer to later if I ever needed it, or even sell these pre-made reggae drum beats to other producers. This was a creative impulse that I had, and I decided to follow it. And by taking the action, by doing it, by making the sample pack, it sort of shifted in me the idea of what I can and can't do, and who I am and who I'm not. And now I'm somebody who creates sample packs. David Bowie is actually a really good example of this. His whole career, he constantly reinvented himself. He listened to the creative impulses that he had, and those informed who he would be. From Ziggy Stardust to the Thin White Duke, David Bowie always honored that creative impulse, and his identity shifted as a result. He was never boxed into one version of himself. So he's a great example of how an artist can follow their creative urges to develop new personas, new identities, new styles of music, and so on. So my invitation to you is, what's the creative impulse that maybe you've been ignoring that you want to answer? What's that voice or that tapping on your shoulder that you feel called to do? And what is something you could do today or this week, some small action that would honor that? Or maybe better yet, what identity are you ready to let go of? And what identity are you ready to step into by taking action? For me, right now, it's finding people to jam with and to explore that feeling again, to rediscover or step into a new version, a new identity for myself, and see where that goes and see where the next creative impulse goes. So remember, identity is not fixed. It evolves as you honor the creative energy, the impulses that are calling to you. All you have to do is listen. If you want more videos like this and you enjoy this content, subscribe to this channel. And if you want my newsletter emailed directly to your email, you can join my Substack. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope you follow your creative impulses this week. Let me know how it goes in the comments.